Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I thought I'd give my thoughts on the disaster release of Ascended Heroes. Pokemon has done it again, but before that I thought I'd go through my Ascended Heroes pulls. So I bought a 3-pack blister last Friday, which is the Australian release on the, I believe it was the 13th, it was the 13th of February 2026. And I got this Charmander. Bit of a tough choice between the Charmander and the Ghastly. But we have a nice Cosmos promo. I wish every holo in every pack was a Cosmos holo. They're so much better than the regular flat holos. I wonder how much more it costs to print a Cosmos sheet than it does to print a regular sheet. So Charmander promo, and then you get 3 packs from the Tech Sticker collection. I did get some of these reverse holos. A couple of reverse holos. We got Reboot, the Pokeball, I think it's a Friend Ball. You got Cascoon. I love this Cascoon actually. I don't know why, but this Cascoon artwork is so cool. These are kind of cool. I like these. I don't think they needed 2 variants of reverse holos, but the fact that there's 2 in every pack makes it not so bad. I think that there's 2 variants, because really, like, although there's so many cards in the set, but you'd pull them eventually, or you could just trade for them. I don't see these being worth that much really. It's nice polish. Oh, my camera doesn't want to focus today. Maybe because the card is so shiny. Nice oddish. My thoughts on the set begin with the fact that it's at least way better than Prismatic. This is the regular Holo Honchkrow. So it was a low bar to clear, but they've at least done a better job than Prismatic Evolutions with this set. It's actually a really cool holo. I like this Honchkrow. And then my, Togekiss holo. Not my favorite artwork there. And then my pull for the Tech Sticker collection is Mega Ordino. I really love these full arts. I think they're really cool. I've always been a fan of full arts and I love the mega ones. If they weren't so expensive, I'd love to get a full set of these. But this one will be straight into the binder. I've got like a miscellaneous stuff binder, and I've got a row of these I'm working on. So was happy to pull that. Getting 1 hit from 3 packs, pretty good. You can't expect more than that, especially if nice full art. You definitely can't expect a special illustration rare, which I think, so I'll start with the art-wise. Art-wise, I think the set is really cool. I love the art. Special illustrations are really cool. The illustration rares are really cool. It's nice that they've got those as well. The fact that they mixed in the decks as well gives like a nice variety to it. I think there's a good amount of illustration rares in the set. The special illustration rares, for the pull rate, I think there's way too many, and that's my issue. Probably the biggest issue with Ascended Heroes is just, it's impossible to complete. Not because it's the biggest set. I think, all these reverse holos, they padded out the set, probably unnecessarily. I think it's like 700 or something cards. Once you get 2 of each common, 2 of each uncommon, all the holo rares, it's a huge set to try and complete. But I think the biggest issue is the special illustration rares, because when you're only pulling like 1 every 90, I think it is, like it's just impossible. And there's so many in the set. Like there's no way anyone other than like a streamer or someone with an insane amount of disposable wealth will ever complete this set. And there's a gold card, 2 gold cards, it's impossible to pull. it's just, I think it's sad. I think to me, specialty sets have become a buy a few packs, skip, because of the fact that you just can't complete them. I have no reasonable prospect of ever completing these sets. So enjoy a few packs and then that's it. If I see a mini tin, I'll probably pick it up. But other than that, that's it for me for Ascended Heroes, because why would I buy another pack when I can't? There's no prospect of me completing the set. So all these reverse holos, they're cool, but they're not going towards anything. They're not working on anything in my collection other than just having a few nice to have cool artworks. They're cool for species collectors, if you're an oddish collector. But then you just pick up the singles. You don't buy packs looking for a Pokeball oddish or a Grass Energy oddish. The other issue I have with Ascended Heroes is the God packs. So I think that's just gambling in that case. The people who are opening packs to get a God pack, if they pull one, they're not keeping the cards. They're selling them off because they can't justify having that much money sitting in Pokemon cards when they needed to eat, they need to pay their bills. It's just become a gambling thing. And it also makes, in order to facilitate God packs, they're reducing the pull rate on special illustration rares to begin with. So it means that the joy of pulling a cool card is concentrated to much fewer people in a much more emotionally intense experience, which drives gambling. It drives the whales to buy more packs, which means there's less packs for regular people to open, which means the pack price goes up. And I think it's all around not good, not good at all for the health and future of Pokemon card collecting. That's my thoughts on Ascended Heroes, but still better than Prismatic Evolutions. In terms of the set release though, the actual distribution and everything, I think far worse than Prismatic Evolutions, which at least released on time, and you could say that a year ago, there's no way they could possibly predict the insane wave of demand. But a whole year later, actually maybe this artwork's better than I thought. It's just a flat holo. The flat holos are so boring. Like this in a Cosmos would be so nice. It's flying through the sky, then a river, the flowers. Yeah, so Ascended Heroes released in the US on the 30th of January, but only the tech sticker collections. The whole rest of the set was delayed by 3 weeks, including the ETBs, the booster bundles. I guess they just weren't prepared. I've been trying to think of a reason why, and I think it's just lack of preparation, which really shouldn't be a good excuse when they're printing so many sets so fast into demand that they by now should have understood. This was an issue back in the pandemic era, like 2020, 2021, where sets would be delayed, especially in Australia. They used to get delayed a lot. And it was kind of understandable then because supply chains were disrupted, getting materials was harder. But now it's just a question of preparation and organization. And I think they should be doing better. In Australia, this was actually delayed. The whole set was delayed by 2 weeks. So from the 30th of January to the 14th of February, when it finally released in Australia. And I think, as well as being just frustrating as an Australian Pokemon fan who wants to just open a couple of packs on release day, it's also just bad business, I think. I guess at this point in time, they don't need extra hype. They don't need everyone to want to open it the same day. But it's not a good model going forward. I think I'll put it that way. But they need to figure out their supply chains. They need to either print less sets, be more prepared for the sets they print. Yeah, there's a lot of issues I have with the Ascended Heroes release schedule. But hopefully in the future it'll be better. I have some hopes for Perfect Order. I think a less hype set, might be easier to obtain, less expensive, and who knows. As I'm recording this, we just had the Logan Paul Illustrator Pikachu sell for like 16 million. Who knows what that'll mean? Probably not much, I think. Maybe vintage will go up a little bit. I think modern will be fairly unbothered by it. But those are my thoughts on Ascended Heroes. Let me know what your experience of the set is. Are you going to try and master this set? Let me know in the comments. And that's it. Thanks for watching.